Hey guys, Kelly and Sue from the Boulevard Boutique coming to you live this morning, still in quarantine. We are going to be redoing this awesome chair. If you saw my picture yesterday, it's pretty ugly. You can see the fabric. It's pretty old school. So we're going to go through the whole process of doing a chair. We're going to go through the prep, the paint, how to shade with wax, how to put on a transfer, and how to recover a seat. So Mom's going to jump behind the camera here, answer all of your questions as we go, and you ready to get started?
Yes.
Okay, let's do it.
We'll let Andrew off the hook.
Okay, yeah, we got Andrew, our film guy here this morning.
Thank you, Andrew.
All right, guys, so if you're coming on, let us know where you're watching from. Let us know if you've used Dixie Belle products before, and we're going to talk a little bit about this as I put the second coat on this one. This one's been primed and prepped and painted with one coat of Dixie Belle. Mom, what color did you use on this?
Look at the bottle right there.
Okay.
Sandbar, I think?
Sandbar, yeah.
Sandbar.
Okay, awesome. Can you talk to them a little bit about White Lightning and then also Boss while I
Sure.
put a coat on this?
Sure. So White Lightning, you start with White Lightning. You want to clean your piece very well before you paint. So I dump White Lightning into a bucket with some warm water and scrub my furniture. Then I will dump the White Lightning out, get some clear water, and just rinse. Just a damp cloth. And then I prepped this piece because it was very dark brown. Lots of cracks in this. It's very old. So I was afraid that it would just absorb too much paint. So I put a coat of Boss. Boss comes in clear and white. So I used the white, and it's kind of like a primer. It's going to prime our piece for painting. And then it has a coat of Sandbar, and now Kelly is putting the second coat. Love this brush by Dixie Belle. When I'm painting, angled brush. Kelly, show the mister, the water mister.
Yeah.
It's right by your feet.
Okay, awesome.
I will mist my brush very, very lightly.
Yes, and
So
this
as
is before I started painting.
okay, so as you're painting,
Can they see this, my spray? See how nice that spray is?
yes.
Just kind of spray your brush just like this. You can also spray your piece, and that helps really to get in all of these little cracks. This is such a great piece, but you're right, Mom. It does have a lot of little nicks and crevices, and it's a little bit tough. I would say a piece like this, you're going to use anywhere from 2 to 3 coats.
We had to use some wood glue on this piece and put this piece back together.
Yeah.
And Andrew was behind the camera. He's my son, Kelly's brother. He's going to show you next week how to fix the veneer. He's working on a buffet. So that will be our next Tuesday. So he'll show you how to fix with the Dixie Belle mud, how to fix if you want to put new handles on a piece. Or if it's missing veneer.
So you can see the Dixie Belle paint is really easy to paint with. It goes on really smooth. Dixie Belle goes on really, really thick. That's one of the best parts, I think, of the product is the coverage is so nice. But that's why you can use the water mister and you can kind of get that more watery consistency. But that's why the paint goes so far. Such a good price point. And we just recently became a premier partner of Dixie Belle, which means we carry their whole line in stores. So you can see a lot of their line here behind me. So we have everything. So I just wanted to kind of show you how nicely that paint went on. I'm not going to finish this one because actually we were super lucky. We scored 2 of these chairs. So that way we can show you the whole process today. So we have one that's actually painted with 2 coats that now we can bounce right to shading with our wax. So I'm going to cap my paint. I would say one of the biggest tips is to always put this right in water.
Or just spray it right now, and then we'll do it after the class.
To dry.
Yeah.
So you just want to always make sure that they're damp or in water, and that way they don't dry out, especially these really nice brushes. Okay. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring over the other chair, and then we will actually finish this one later. So this one has actually been painted with 2 coats. So I'm gonna use a,
Don't we wish painting was that fast?
yeah, right, I know, I wish that just happened just like that. So these are Dixie Belle's wax. This one is the best dang wax in black, and yes, I did say dang. So it comes like this. It's real easy to use. I actually prefer to use any kind of wax with this hemp seed oil. So this is a really good like mistake eraser, I find. So if you put too much wax in one spot, if you take a little bit of this on the cloth, you can really work it in there. So I really, I keep this very handy all the time. I'm going to use one of these brushes by Dixie Belle. Mom, you can talk a little bit about that.
But after she painted the 2 coats, it has a coat of hemp seed oil on it.
It does.
Okay, so because the paint is so porous, if you try to wax right over paint, it will just adhere. You can't
Right.
work with your wax. You can't move it. It's just going to sit in one spot. If you put a clear coat on or your hemp seed oil on and then wax, you can move your wax. You can
Just like
shade
I'm
with
doing right
it.
now, guys. So when you start to shade with your wax, you really want to start in those corners and those crevices. And that kind of gives the furniture some depth. So here I'm working with my brush in my corners here, and you'll see that this brush fits really, really nicely into those small areas. And then what I'm doing is I just put a little bit of my hemp seed oil on my cloth, and I'm just using my finger, and I'm just kind of working it in, right into the paint, right into those crevices. I like this method because I feel like I have a lot of control, and I don't feel like I have to put too much product on. So I'm just really working it in. I want to work it along this ridge here to add a little bit of depth. We're also going to distress this piece, so all of these fine lines will be distressed as well. So again, I'm just working it up here along the sides of my piece. And you can start to see, can you see that on camera? Mom?
You can, and it's
Okay.
very pretty.
And then I'm just kind of just blending it in. You can always add more. It's really hard to take away, but you can always add more. So really start lightly. If you're not used to using the wax, just start really lightly and just kind of experiment with it. And so I'm just kind of going over. Now I'm rounding out those edges. You can see I have enough product where it's still rubbing on here. And I'm just kind of going around, okay?
A question that we get often too is if I put too much wax on, or if I don't like after I wax the piece, but now you have your sealer on, you can paint right over the sealer. All of our products are water-based, so you can paint right over your hemp seed oil or your
That's right.
finished products.
Never be afraid to use the products, guys, because like Mom said, it is easy to fix a mistake, and it's okay. Like, nothing's going to come out perfect, and that's the beauty of kind of painting and things like that, okay? So I'm just going to leave my shade just like that. Now, what I would do from here is I would really start to like shade in here, and I would go all in these grooves. I'm not going to do that just for like time's sake, but you guys get the picture of what we're doing here. So you would go in all of these creases. You could shade along here. I'm actually going to distress this area. But I really wanted to highlight this because this is actually where our transfer is going to go. So I really want this to be the focal point of the chair, okay? So now we're going to switch gears again. Again, I'm going to spray my brush, dampen it, make sure that it stays nice. I'm going to kind of tuck it in here so it stays moist until I get done. Make sure you always cap your products. Super important to keep your products nice. Okay. Now, I am going to use one of the Prima transfers. So if you've been watching our videos this week, this is totally different than the tissue that we were using earlier. This actually comes off like this, and it's on a clear sheet like this. And I absolutely love this tool. Is this by Prima or Dixie Belle?
Dixie Belle.
By Dixie Belle. Okay, and this is great for rubbing these transfers on. I swear it's like twice as fast. So I'm going to place this. The really important part about this is once you place the transfer, you're not going to be able to pull it back up. So you have to really make sure that before you're really placing it where you want it so that you're not trying to take it off and then redo it. So I kind of want to go right in the center here. I'm going to go right in between. I actually cut this piece out. So your transfers are going to come in a roll. You know, we have some that are this large, if you can see behind here. But a lot of them you can kind of cut and cut down to whatever shape you want. So what I'm doing is I'm just rubbing it on with my fingers first to try to get it in there. And then I'm going to take this, and you're going to rub pretty hard on these. You want to make sure that your paint is dry. Mom, you've done some pretty large pieces
I
with
have.
these transfers. Can you give them some like tips and secrets for how to do this easily?
I can, but I want to tell them that we did not seal the center of that chair with our gator hide or our top coat.
That's right.
She put the hemp seed oil in the corners to show you how to wax, but you cannot wax a piece and then put a transfer on because it will not adhere. So the transfer has to go right on your paint. And then you just rub. I will start to peel from one corner. If it feels like it is not adhering to the paint, then I'll lay it back down, rub it again. A secret, and I learned this the hard way, is you're going to hold on one end and peel on the other. Because if it starts to loosen up on the other end, sometimes it will flip over and stick to itself.
And I find that once it starts to actually lay down, it almost becomes like white. It will, you'll see the black starting to adhere. And I'm kind of leveraging it against my leg here because usually I would lay this seat down and put all the pressure on the back here. But, you know, for the video, this is the way we're going to go so that you guys can see it the best. And this is a process. This does take longer. You know, the tissue ones, you just lay down and it kind of sticks. But this is a little bit tougher to do. But then once you start getting going, it does go on pretty smooth.
I love the transfers. I
Yes.
love working with the transfers. I'll show you a piece while she's rubbing.
Yeah.
I'll show you a piece that I just picked up.
Yeah, show them what you're
It's
going to do.
I'm going to do it's a medicine cabinet. It's an antique medicine cabinet, and if you can see the transfer laying up there, that's what I am going to work on. So I'm going to do a YouTube on this. So we'll send you the information of where you can find that. But that's what I'm going to work on today. Okay, is it
Get
coming?
back over?
Is it Is it coming off?
So it's starting to come off, guys. I've got a little more rubbing to do.
There you go.
Look at me peeling here.
Uh-huh.
And if you see it start to come up, you can kind of just place it right back down and rub where it starts to come up, okay? So as you see, I'm starting to come up now. I think the little tough ones are going to be on this, you can see this little groove here.
Looks like it's laying down nicely.
Yeah, it looks like it really is.
There you go, perfect.
I've got a couple pieces where my oil was that are not laying down super smooth, but that's okay because I can always go in and piece those right over after.
So then after she gets done rubbing, takes off the plastic, she's going to go back over it with her fingers very gently.
That's right.
Make sure that there's no air bubbles. Have to make sure all of the air is out before you put your top coat on. And then after all the air bubbles, you make sure it's laid flat. Then go over it with your top coat, either your clear satin, your flat, or your gator hide.
Yeah,
But it does need-
a little bit of difference between
Yes,
those
does
products.
need to be sealed. So your flats are not water resistant. So on kitchen tables, coffee tables, tops of dressers that kids might run, they're going to throw their car keys on. I always use gator hide, and I use 3 coats of gator hide. And we will do a tutorial on how to use the gator hide because there is a method to it. And then if it's just a piece like a chair, I will just use our Usually I use our satin top coat.
I love the satin.
So do I.
Here we go, guys.
Okay, that is adorable.
Really pretty. So
Yep.
the reason why we use the Paris, we'll come over here and I'll show you, is because we are going to take this ugly seat and we're going to put this beautiful fabric on it. So this is the chair that we did yesterday, which is really, really pretty. So you can kind of see. And it has the Paris theme on it, and we tied it into the Paris transfer. So it really does tie in nicely. And once this is waxed and we have a little bit more distressing, I think it'll really look nice.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to show you guys how to actually cover this seat really easily. I think everybody kind of has their own method, but there's a lot of different ways to do this. I am not trained in this, so I use my own method, which is my mom's, because she taught me to do it a while ago. So let me just pop these down here so that we have a good workspace. Okay, so this is the fabric that we use. Hideous, right? So it was nailed into the bottom, so I just pried it up, okay? I left one of the nails on so I could show you. And it has this nice cushion underneath it, nice batting, so we're gonna leave that on. So really you just wanna take off your ugly fabric on top, okay?
And you can always use that as your pattern.
Yeah, you can, absolutely. I'm not patient enough for that, but you absolutely could. So what I did is I just cut a piece of this out, measuring it yesterday. You wanna make sure that your pattern is laying out. So you wanna make sure it's going this way, okay? So you're gonna flip it over, you're gonna use the back of it. And if you have a staple gun at home, if not, these are pretty cheap, guys. I think you can get a staple gun for what, 20 bucks?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so we're gonna put it downwards, and I'm gonna lay it right in the center of my fabric. I'm gonna make sure that my fabric is facing in the right direction, so out. All right, now, you're gonna kind of do one side at a time, and you're gonna keep rotating it, and that's gonna make sure that it's really even and that it's also pulled really taut. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start on my corners here, and I'm just gonna pull up in one corner, and I don't want to pull so tight that the fabric is stretching because I don't want it to loosen up after. I'm just gonna pull it tight enough where I have that smooth finish. And I'm just doing one staple on each corner to start. So again, not pulling too tight, but pulling tight enough. And I'm rotating, and I'm just doing each corner, guys. You could do this to anything. We cover vanity chairs all the time. Usually you'll have a chair and you can just unscrew it from the bottom, it pops right off. Just make sure that you take your fabric off and you don't put the fabric right over top because it can get too bulky, okay? So after I do my corners, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna come actually in the center, and you're gonna have fabric that pops up like this, and that's okay. So you're gonna do your center first. Okay, this is slanted, so make sure that you are going and pulling the fabric all the way up. Okay, so now I have all this left over. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna kind of make a fold. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna fold it here. Mom, can you see that on film?
Uh-huh.
Okay, great.
Kimberly says, I love the fabric.
Oh, yeah, thanks, Kimberly. Okay, so I'm just folding over one piece, and then I'm taking the other piece and folding it back over, and just making like a seal here. Okay, and then I'm gonna continue to turn. I'm doing it the same direction, so I'm doing the right side, and then I'm bringing the other over top.
Those of us that are old enough to remember, it's almost like the cloth diapers.
Yeah. Okay, I'm not, but I can imagine. Thank you, God, for
Diaper and a baby.
Thank you, God, for huggies. Okay. So one more corner after this. Okay. So what you'd want to do after is go through here and cut off this extra fabric. You have a great seat. and it makes such a difference. And it was fast,
Yeah.
right? So this one would lay right on top of there. So this is our chair, quickly redone. You could absolutely distress these edges. When I distress, I take a pretty rough sandpaper and go over top of my corners. And the way I think about it, where I choose to distress, I was actually told this when I first started painting like 7 years ago. If I were to throw a piece of furniture down the stairs, where would it get scratched up? Where would it hit? It would be all of your edges, right? So everything that you think would get nicked up if you threw it down the stairs, that's where you'd want to distress. So that's where I would rub my sandpaper over. And then we would seal it and put it in the store to sell. So if you guys have any questions, if you want to order any products from us, we actually started shipping Dixie Belle yesterday. So, you know, desperate times call for desperate measures. But it's $5 to ship anything over 50 bucks, and you'll have it within 3 days. The people that we sent the paint to yesterday, their tracking was only 3 days long. So if you have projects that you want to do this weekend, give us a shout out today, and we'll throw it in the mail this afternoon, okay? All right, thanks guys for watching. Bye.
Kimberly says, it looks easy. I think I can try it.
Love
so,
it.
yes. All
You're
right.
Kimberly.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.